know about you, Kev, but I like a little bite with my bark. Georgia successfully defending its crown last season, and now all the talk is on what would be the first modern-era three-peat in college football. The last team to win 3 straight titles, Minnesota in the mid-1930s, with Stetson Bennett off to play on Sundays, though. The Bulldogs will need a new answer at quarterback, so enter junior Carson Beck, a former 4-star recruit out of Jacksonville, who led the first-team offense during spring and is expected to start. And while it isn't often tight ends make their way into the spotlight, not many are as good as Brock Bowers. I mean, he led all players at the position with 942 receiving yards last year. He's got 20 touchdown catches in his career. Here's head coach Kirby Smart on how close his team is to that three-peat.
I think we're a long way from that, so to make that assumption or that theory relevant, we would have to get to that point in time. But I can assure you, if we get to that point, I'm going to be worrying about the next day's work more than I am the achievement. We've certainly looked at some three-peat scenarios of teams like the Bulls and different sports teams that they might actually know about. No offense to the Minnesota 1935 team, but I don't know if it's going to resonate with my audience. I don't care about the three-peat, the two-peat, or the one-peat. I care about complacency. And if the focus is on that and outcomes, I think the rest will take care of itself in terms of allowing our guys to focus on being the best they can be.
Man knows he can deliver a soundbite. We are joined now by Heather Dinich because just like Kirby, we never settle for less here. Okay, so of course Kirby reveals today Carson Beck has the inside track. He hits us one of those, but he says he hasn't done enough to go ahead and hand him over the job. So what are you hearing about Stetson Bennett's successor?
Well, Carson Beck is going to be competing against Brock Vandegrift and Gunnar Stockton, and I asked Kirby Smart about this today, and he said he's probably not going to know until the second scrimmage when these guys go against a good defense, and they've played 10 third downs in a row, and we're blitzing the hell out of them. He said that's when we're going to figure this out, and he pointed out that there was a time when Carson Beck was ahead of Stetson Bennett on the depth chart, and he reminded us that at one point Beck was 2 and Bennett was 3, so they must be pretty good.
Certainly going to be a challenge for any of those young quarterbacks, Todd Monken leaving to go take the OC job in Baltimore. But when Georgia takes the field against UT Martin on September 2nd, Kevin, it will have been 637 days since they lost a game. I just thought you wanted to know.
I wasn't asking.
Let's stay there in the SEC. Hugh Freeze's second stint in the SEC begins with some uncertainty under center there at Auburn. 7 quarterbacks to sort through, including last year's starter, Robbie Ashford. Which way are you hearing that Freeze is leaning right now, Heather?
Well, he's not leaning any way in particular, Elle. He said that's a big unknown for me. And he said that Robbie Ashford can definitely help them win football games. He called Robbie Ashford the most freakish athlete he's ever had at quarterback. He said, can he be the quarterback? I don't know yet because he hasn't seen Peyton Thorne, the transfer from Michigan State. I thought it was interesting, Elle, that Hugh Freeze said today it's possible he might play both of those guys if they're able to handle it the right way.
And when you listen to this, you can understand why. Michigan State transfer Peyton Thorne went 16-9 over 2 seasons in East Landing, and as a freshman, Ashford, that freak, threw for over 1,600 yards, rushed for 710 more, and had 14 touchdowns. Heather Dinich joining us from SEC Media Days. Thanks, Heather.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.